What is up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about what is probably the most anticipated headphone release of the year. And of course, I'm talking about the Sony WH1000XM4. And yes, I don't like the name either. I gave the Bose Noise Cancelling Headphones 700 a little bit of flack for having a bad name, but honestly, those don't even come close to these. So for the rest of the video, I'll just be referring to these as the M4s. But once we get past the name, I think you'll find that there is very little wrong with these headphones, and they get all of the headphones essentials right. And on top of that, they even offer a lot of features that you might find useful. So let's start off by talking about the design. The M4s have a very minimal monotone design that remains largely unchanged from last year's version. I guess Sony just said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And honestly, I think it looks okay, but it isn't my favorite. I like how clean and minimal it is, and I also like the subtle gold hits across the design that just add a little bit of character to the design. But I just think that the overall shape of the headphones is a little bit clunky. Especially when you put them on your head, they just look a little bit ungraceful. But that's just my opinion, and I know a lot of people who love this design. But personally, I just kind of hope that Sony updates the design next year. The build quality is very good though. The majority of the body is made out of a matte plastic, but it definitely feels very high quality. The inside of the headband is made out of metal though and seems to be very durable. You can pretty much fold it flat and there isn't any creaking or anything like that. The ear cups and headband also have a really nice and supple leatherette on it that feels really nice on the skin. Paired with a very soft memory foam and a lightweight construction, you get an overall very comfortable fit. Although I will say that it isn't the most comfortable pair of headphones I've tried though. My main issue with the headphones in the comfort department is that the drivers touch my ears. And no matter how soft the covering on the drivers is, my ears will start to fatigue over time. For me, the gold standard on headphone comfort is still the Bose 700s. But I think for most people, this will be more than good enough. The M4s also come with an eggshell type case with a cloth covering, and it feels reasonably nice. I just kind of wish that they didn't use the cloth covering, not because it doesn't look nice, but because I'm just a little bit worried about it staining over time or something like that. Of course, if you aren't a slob like me, then you have nothing to worry about. And it seems hard enough to protect your headphones if you put it in a bag or something like that. The inside of the case is lined with a soft microfiber-like material that will protect it from scratches and also has this interesting wall type thing that will help guide you in putting the headphones in correctly so you can fit it in. And it'll also prevent the two drivers from knocking into each other and maybe causing some scratches. It also doubles as storage for some of the included accessories like the aux cable, USB charging cable, and the airline adapter. Functionality wise, I like it and I think it's useful, but I just think that it looks really ugly and makes everything look kind of messy. Of course, it doesn't really matter, but it just kind of feeds into the whole experience of using the product. And I think it's just a big contrast between the clean design of the headphones and the inside of the case. But I gotta say that the experience of using these headphones has been overall extremely good. And I can definitely see why last year's version was so popular. First of all, one of the most important specs in any tech device, the battery life, is very good, rated at 30 hours with a quick charge feature to give you 5 hours of playback with a 10-minute charge, and luckily it charges via USB-C in 2020 fashion. Also in 2020 fashion, these connect via Bluetooth to whatever device you want to use them with. And even have an option for an aux cable if that's what you want. With Bluetooth though, you get multi-point connection, meaning that you can connect up to 2 devices at a time with these headphones. And it's just super convenient, like if you're watching a video on your iPad and then you suddenly get a call on your phone. You don't have to mess with reconnecting and all that, and you can just take the call straight away without messing with the settings and just maybe missing the call. And taking calls on this is pretty good too. So here's a little mic test. The audio you're hearing right now should be coming from the Sony WH1000XM4s. And I guess just let me know how the mics sound in the comment section down below. All right, back to the video. And along with all the essentials, the M4s also offer a bunch of really cool and surprisingly smart features that go above and beyond the Call of Duty. But to be totally honest, I don't think I can actually tell you if some of them actually do anything meaningful. But some of them are actually extremely useful and nice to have. And one of those features is the touch controls on each ear cup, which you can use to play, pause, skip, reverse, and change the volume. They work really well overall, and I never really had any issues with accidental touches or misinterpretations. There are also just a whole bunch of other features crammed into this set of headphones, and honestly, there are just way too many to really go into depth with in this video. It has this thing called Sense Engine where it'll sense what you're doing and adjust the level of noise canceling based on that. As far as how much it actually works, it is indeed able to successfully sense whether I'm walking, running, or staying. Although I live in a relatively small town, so I didn't really get to test out the transportation mode. As to the usefulness of this feature, I don't know. I'm not really sold on it. It really takes a while for it to actually sense what you're doing and when you've changed what you're doing. And the change in noise cancellation levels is always pretty jarring, and I found that it actually was a little bit distracting. It also has a quick attention feature where you can just put a hand over an ear cup if you need to give your attention really quickly. And it'll temporarily disable the noise cancellation and lower the volume of whatever you're listening to. But I feel like it was a little bit slow for my liking. Like, usually those moments that you would need to use this feature just happen so quickly that it's almost always more practical just to take the headphones off or like lift an ear cup. And there's a whole bunch of other features, and you can look on their website, but those ones are just the ones that I thought were kind of quirky and the most interesting ones that I might actually use. And if you get these and forget how some of the features work or just want to go exploring, Sony has a smartphone app that you can use to customize your settings like EQ and noise cancellation levels and stuff like that. And while those features are good and all, how do these perform in the areas that actually matter? After all, these are noise cancelling headphones. And I'm happy to report that the noise cancellation is still best in class. And a lot of you might be wondering if the noise cancellation on these are better than the Bose 700s. And honestly, it's hard to answer. Like, they're crazy close in terms of noise cancelling performance, and I really don't think I could pick one over the other in that regard. I will say though that on the Sonys you get a little bit more control over the level of the noise cancellation with 20 levels. But overall they're pretty equal, and I'd say that they're both very, very good. And it's kind of crazy to think about because I remember just a couple of years ago, Bose was pretty much the only name in noise cancellation. And it was kind of understood that if you wanted noise cancellation, you went to Bose. It was really that simple. But I'm glad to see that there's a little bit more competition now because that'll drive innovation. And one thing that's really cool in the M4s is that if you're particularly sensitive to the pressure sensation that you get with noise cancellation, you'll be happy to find out that you can actually set the amount of pressure that you experience through the headphones, which I think is really cool. But honestly, it's pretty minimal to begin with, so you really shouldn't have an issue with that. One thing that I think these things really pull ahead of the competition though is the sound quality. Like, they sound crystal clear in the highs and mids with a bass response that I think is truly impressive. Like, seriously, if you're into big bass, these are the headphones for you. You really get that deep, booming bass, but at the same time, it doesn't really creep into the other parts of the sound, and everything remains just really clean and crisp. So if you really care about sound quality, unless you're an audiophile, I don't think anyone will have any kind of complaints about the sound on these. And like I mentioned earlier, you can change the EQ settings in the app, so if you don't quite like how these headphones are mixed, you can always change it to your liking. It comes with some presets on there, but you can make your own custom settings, and the app gives you pretty good control over it. So overall, these headphones kind of get all of the essentials right. Great sound, amazing noise cancellation, awesome battery life, and good comfort. And on top of that, you get a huge amount of features that you may or may not use, but it's nice to have either way. So if you're in the market for some premium Bluetooth headphones, I really think that these are probably going to be the best choice for most people. Like I said earlier, they check all the boxes that most people will care about with little if any compromises that they make. Anyways, that's all for this one. Remember to smash that like button, and if you enjoy content like this, think about subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss anything. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!